Hey everybody, it's Ellen here, and it's time for our Why Tupperware Why Now interview. And tonight I am interviewing Paula, and I am so excited to be interviewing Paula. Before we get started, just real quick, my name is Ellen. If this is your first time tuning in, I am a leader here with Champion Enterprises with Tupperware, and I have been in Tupperware about 14 years, and it has been just such a great experience for me, not only me, but my family as well. It is a family business. You know, the kids sometimes help me with my demonstrations, they help me at shows. My husband helps me at shows. He also does a lot of like administrative things for me over the years. He's done a lot of that. And so that's always very helpful. So he's kind of the behind the scenes guy. But without all of those people, I wouldn't be able to do whatever it is I need to do. So it's fun to be able to work together as a family and be able to have them sharing that success, right? Because they reap the rewards. Thanks to our Tupperware money, we have our kids go to private school, and we would probably wouldn't have been able to afford that without this income. And we've gone on trips and things like that. We're getting ready to go on another trip that is from Tupperware money, right? So that's always very exciting. So I love to be able to include them as much as I can so that they can feel that success as well, and they can feel like they're making a difference. So awesome. All right, so let's get started. So Paula has been in Tupperware about 8 or 9 years, I believe, and she's actually a leader with Champion as well, and she is such a consistent seller. Like she has decent sales every single month, and she's been able to use that income. She does have a full-time job that has some different hours, so it's kind of fun to be able. She's worked different shifts over the years, and so it's fun that she's been able to kind of work her Tupperware around whatever shift it is that she's working at that point in the game. So Paula, tell us, why Tupperware? Why did you decide all those years ago to say yes to Tupperware?
I grew up with Tupperware in my home. So I knew about it and I kind of got away from it when I first got out on my own. And then I was reintroduced to it and just the way Tupperware stands behind their product and the quality of the product. That's why I do what I do.
I
That's
love it.
what made the decision for me.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people start for that reason too. They remember, their mom had it, their grandma had it, and they're just like, because of that quality product over the years. That's definitely a reason why a lot of people join. Absolutely. So tell us, what has been your experience so far, Paula?
The best thing is um, knowing that there's such a support system in place. There's training in place. If you've never done this before, it's okay because there's so much training, so much encouragement. My biggest fear is the fear of disappointing someone. That's my biggest fear. But I don't have to worry about that doing this because our leadership is amazing. They're always uplifting and encouraging. So it doesn't matter if you mess up, it's okay. You learn from that mistake. So that's the best thing that for me because that keeps me going, knowing that it's okay if you make mistakes because that's how you learn.
Oh, I love that. I love everything you just said there, because that's what we try to do. And as leaders, sometimes you think that that's what you're putting out there, but you're just not sure how it's landing with everybody. And so I love that that has been your experience. And I have found that's sort of like, a lot of times that's the message that we get, is that the support is there. And so I love that. And you do, because of your schedule, you do a lot of virtual parties, right? You do a lot of Facebook and things like that, correct?
Yes, and that was never something I was really technology is not my friend. Anyone who knows me knows that. So I always did home parties up until COVID hit. And it was like, And I got to do something. I got to figure this out. So again, we had amazing leaders with amazing training, and you know, I did. You did my first Facebook party and showed me how, and that was back in April of 2020,
Yeah.
I think. And that next, we dated like 5 parties from that party, and I had an $800 party. And the next month, I did over $5,000 in sales
I know.
just in
I was
Facebook
like,
parties.
it was I remember the whole thing. I remember it going down and I was just like, holy cow, that really worked. because because you yourself were like, I am not tech savvy, and I can't, I can't do these. And that's the thing, is just like, I love that people that are not techie people still have the ability to have success in this, because I am actually, a lot of people don't realize it, but I'm actually not really necessarily techie. um I'm just determined, like, and I'm determined to figure out a way to make it work, but my brain doesn't really work that way. Like, I don't, things don't just naturally, when it comes to technology, things don't naturally click with me. It takes me a little bit longer to catch on and to get it. But once I get it, I'm good. And so I'm very determined. And so some people, I sometimes when technology, I feel like other people run circles around me, right? Even if we're like learning at the same time, they're like, boom, and they're off and running. And I'm still like, wait, so how do I connect this to this? Like, so yeah.
Right.
So you are a perfect example of that,
Yeah.
Paula. It seems like you're kind of the same way like me, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if it wasn't for people like um, Christy Jackson and Nikki Micah and all their amazing training, I, and I still struggle. So, but it's a learning experience and it's working. So don't be afraid
Absolutely.
to try something new because it
Like,
will
yeah,
work.
you never know what'll happen, right? $5,000 the next month from trying something new. It's pretty awesome.
Right? Yeah. Who would have thought?
And here you are all these months later, and you're still working a virtual business. And now it's just one more avenue for you, because now you can do a little bit of both, right? You can do some of the
Yeah.
virtual, but you also do some in-person things and shows and things like that. So that's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
Awesome. All right. So if somebody's watching this right now and they're thinking about joining Tupperware, what would be your advice to them as far as why now is a good time to join Tupperware?
I think now is the best time to do it because with everything going on in the world, you can control what you do in your business. And you can't always control what happens out in the world, but you can make this work for you. And why not try it? Why not? I mean, what's the best thing that can happen to you? What's the
Look
best?
at you. Oh my gosh. I love that you just said that, Paula.
I mean, you know, was I afraid? Absolutely. And, you know, do I still mess up? Yeah, it's going to happen. But that's okay because most people don't know that you messed up when you did because they don't know. It's okay. You just learn from it and move on. So why not try something new and give it a shot? Why not?
Absolutely. I love that,
One,
Paula. That's such a great answer to that. And it's very true to who you are. You know, I'm so proud of you. You're constantly just really stretching yourself. So even today, so I told the leaders, I made a challenge to the leaders last week. I said, do something courageous this week, right? And so this, I would say, is Paula's biggest courageous thing that she is
this
doing
is
this
tough.
week, is being live here with everybody here tonight. So thank you, Paula. That is so awesome. And she's a perfect example of taking those steps forward as a leader, even when you don't really know what you're doing, even when you're not sure how it's going to play out, right? And so she's so good at that. So I'm so glad that she was able to come here tonight and just kind of share that with all of you. We are going to launch into some questions. Please feel free, ask questions in the chat. We'll be watching the chat and let you know. And we'll be answering questions right there in the chat for you as well. I forgot to mention at the beginning, I always say this. If you are a guest, please say hello in the chat and say hello to the person that invited you, so that way they'll know that you're here and they'll be able to connect with you and answer any questions that you have there as well. So go ahead, ask the questions right there in the chat. But some frequently asked questions that people ask are, one of the things is, how much money can I make? And I a lot of times turn that question right back on the person. It's like, how much are you looking for? How much are you wanting to make? Right? Because some people get started and they just want some money for the extras, right? When their kids need a new pair of tennis shoes, when their child wants to play, pay to play sports, right? And so maybe an entry fee for something like that. Sometimes it's they don't have children, right? And so it's about being able to save for a vacation that they really want to take, that's just not in the budget, right? Sometimes it's about saving for a future bill. And so once we know what your goal is in Tupperware, but I will say this, the average person, they come in just to make a couple extra $100 a month, which is extremely, extremely doable. So Paula mentioned that, after she learned how to do Facebook parties, the very next month she had a 5,000 sales month. And that's not abnormal for Paula. She's not going to say that about herself, but she frequently, most of the time, she has several $1,000s in sale every single month. And so she usually, when you have, for example, that $5,000 month, that $5,000 month, that makes the consultant, I would say about $1,700, right, for that month, including that's their commissions plus their bonuses on that, because we do give additional bonuses out somewhere between like $1,500 and $1,700. That's not chump change, right? That is not that's that's a lot of money for a side gig, and for somebody like Paula, she works full time. So I mean, imagine you have your full-time income, right, in your household, and then you're able to bring in an extra $1,000. That's kind of awesome. I mean, that's not change you find between the cushions of the couch, right? So it depends upon what it is you're looking for, and we can guide you. We can give you a roadmap to whatever the income is that you're looking for. The other question people ask is, how much time will it take? Now, it depends upon how you're working your business, right? Some people really market their business very heavy online, doing videos and things like that. That takes a little bit of time to create these videos and to do things like that. And then other people, they do Facebook parties, which a lot of times is kind of a turnkey situation, right? We even have, Paula was talking about support. We even have copy and paste groups for people that are not techie, that don't know how to make their own graphics and things like that, that people can just take those images and plug them right into their party. So that is like plug and play, right? So that does not take a ton of time, right? And then also the as far as home parties, right? So if you're doing a home party a week or 2 home parties a week, that takes a little bit more time. There's travel time. There's actually like the live, when you're there in person, being able to do those home parties. So it just depends upon how you're wanting to approach your business. But I can easily say, you can work this business in anywhere from 5 to 10 hours a week, and really, that's a really good amount of time to be able to devote to that. And you think about it, if you were getting a part-time job, you probably would be working at least 10 hours a week, getting a couple $100, right? And so in Tupperware, you can do the same from the comfort of your own home and probably make more than that couple $100. So that's just kind of a little bit of a more detailed answer to that question than I usually give. But also, and then the last question that a lot of times people ask is there training available? We have so much training. We have so much training available to you. We have on-demand training so that you can almost like binge watch training if you want. Sometimes I get into, on a roll, and I just like watch video after video after video after video. Other times, the training that I listen to is live. I like to watch live training as well because that it feels different, right? I can interact with the people that are training. But we also have, you also have whoever your upline is, and Tupperware also has some amazing training in place. Tupperware actually has an amazing, like program that is for brand new consultants that is step by step videos. Welcome. Here's how to, navigate the site. Here is how to, do this. Here is how to. These are the products that come in your kit. Should you choose that option? This and this and this. So all the different things. So lots and lots of training available out there. So thank you everybody so much for joining us, and thank you for joining us tonight, Paula. Paula, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
I'm just really thankful for the business and everything it's done for me in my life, because there have been, bills that popped up that uh, I wouldn't have been able to pay otherwise. Or if I didn't have my Tupperware money, it wouldn't have been paid. And the friendships are, priceless. And the support system is great. So may as well take a chance and see what can happen. And
I love that. I love that, Paula.
yeah.
That's so wonderful. I love that. And she's right. I mean, she's been in Tupperware 8 or 9 years, right? And so, being in Tupperware that long, it's unrealistic to think that life hasn't happened, right? Life has happened over those years, and sometimes when life happens, the flexibility of the business is the number one thing that is so amazing. Oh, there's Paula's dog.
There they
We were
are.
wondering if we were going to get through this without her dog making an appearance,
Right?
and there she is.
There they are.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
absolutely. But also, just even sometimes over the years, financial things pop up, and so that's the plus side of the business as well. So thank you so much, Paula, for joining us this evening,
Thank
and
you, Ellen.
thank you everybody. Please keep asking your questions in the chat. We'll be checking that, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. All right, but everybody, thanks. Bye.